Hello again, and welcome back to the Music Theory series. Right now we're focusing on the shape of a major scale, and once you get more familiar with this shape and you're getting used to the sound of it and playing it, it's going to get pretty magical pretty quick. We're going to build on this, and by lesson 4 or 5 we're going to start to see some magic. You may or may not need the PDF. Some of you won't need it at all, but if you want to have the PDF, you can get that by going to the link underneath this video, clicking on my website, signing up for my email list, and then you'll get a welcome email with a link to my free instruction page where you can get lots of PDFs. So in the first lesson, we played a major scale. I had little blue dots on my guitar. They're gone now, but I'm going to play the major scale like we did in the first lesson, starting with open. We're not going to count frets. We're going to count first note, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. The main thing we learned is that all the steps in the major scale are whole steps except between the third note and fourth note and the 7th and 8th note. So first note, second note. Notice that I'm playing whole steps. First note, second note, third note, we're all whole steps. Third to fourth, half step. 5, 6, 7, 8. Between 7 and 8 is also a half step. So if you just learn those two spots are where the half steps are between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8, then all the others you can just know that they're going to be whole steps. What I just played is on the 6th string here on the PDF. This is your 1st string, and what we're going to do today is start not with an open string, but we're going to start on the 1st fret, and we're going to remember first note, second note, third note. When we get between 3rd note and 4th note, we're going to want to play a half step. Let's look at it, this picture first. So let me get the pitch that we're going to. Do, re, mi. Okay. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Between first note and second note was a whole step. Whole step between. Hopefully you can easily see. This is the 3rd one. 1, 2, 3. Between 3 and 4 is a half step. Then whole, and the 7th and 8th is another half step. Let me go ahead and play that for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can play that. Let's start on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the way we do that is play our 1st note and just go up a whole step, and when you get between your 3rd and 4th note, that's where your half step is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm trying to say enough and not say too much. I'm trying to remember today. I want you to notice that the pattern of these dots. Okay, if you look at these dots where we started with an open string, that's why I count this spot as a dot. It gets a dot because that's like, if you think of that spot right there on the nut as the location of your 1st note, then you can see we have the same pattern. It's just that this pattern starts in the 1st fret and this pattern starts right there on the nut. Seeing that this relationship is the same relationship as this relationship is really important. Let's just talk a little bit about what we're about to talk about is probably the most difficult thing. It's not difficult, but it's really important. So I don't want to glaze over it, and it's easy to miss that let's just quick reminder about whole steps. If I play this note and I skip a fret, 2 frets higher is a whole step. Play this note, 1 fret higher is a half step. So if I play the 6th string open and I play the 2nd fret, that means I've skipped a fret. That means we're going from basically from here to here. And I want you to see that as a whole step. It's easy to miss because we usually don't play it like this. We play it like this. Really important to know that that relationship is the same. And when I say relationship, I mean whole step. First note, second note is a whole step. But if I were to start here and I want to play that same relationship, I want to play a whole step, I will go here. Here to here is a whole step. Here to here is also a whole step. This is going to come in really handy. So if that is confusing at all, please spend some time with it. And don't worry about it at this point, just because I will belabor that. And we're going to come back and revisit that, and eventually it will click. But I just want you to know, if that makes sense now, awesome. And as we go along, that is an important thing to see that the relationship is the same, whether or not you're starting with a fretted note or with an open note. When we go a whole step higher, it's a whole step higher. Let's look at it one more time. Low 6th string open, whole step higher. 6th string 1st fret, whole step higher. And no matter where you start, I'm going to start some random place. 2nd string 4th fret, that's a whole step higher. So once you get away from the neck, the nut, it's actually easier to understand the relationships. And there's a little brain thing here that sometimes can get a little confusing, and it's going to help a lot to just make sure we understand that relationship. I really think that's really it for today's lesson. I just want to mention that to master this material and have it be very helpful and very useful, it's important to play these scales, even though it might seem very simple. Actually playing and moving and hearing as you play those scales, hearing the changes in pitch as you play them is going to help your musical development a lot. And you just want it to be a no-brainer where those half steps are. That's going to help you a lot as we move forward. So for now, even though it seems easy, it doesn't have to take a long time. When you pick up your guitar every day, if you just play it for 2 or 3 minutes every day, that's going to affect your brain development in a much different way than if you played a whole bunch on the weekend. So try to play that, both of these scales. Play them with open strings like we did before, and use the little stickers like we had in lesson 1 if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you could play that on all the strings, and you can also play it starting on the 1st fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pay attention to not fret numbers. 1st note, 2nd note, 3rd note. They're all whole steps in between, except for between the 3rd and 4th note and the 7th and 8th note. Think of it that way. Try to avoid counting fret numbers. And as a matter of fact, you can start anywhere you want. I've taught you to start with an open string and on the 1st fret, but as long as you don't start too high, you can do this on starting anywhere. Let's just, to prove a point, play 3rd string, 3rd fret. So this happens to be a B flat, so if I play the same pattern, I'm going to be playing a B flat major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just play all whole steps unless you're going from 3 to 4 or 7 to 8. You start anywhere you want. But it's important, the way I teach here online, it's important for you to modify for yourself. Keep it easy for now. Don't feel like you have to play these scales all over the place. Some of you might be wondering, and I just want you to know we're building up to this. I said before in the first lesson, we generally don't play scales all on one string like this, but we generally play scales going that way, more like that, and we are building up to that. But being able to, for that kind of pattern to be useful to you, what we're doing right now is a really good foundation. So have fun with that. Spend a little time on it every day for a week or two. That'll make a big difference as we move forward. And please like and subscribe. That helps me to be able to keep doing this work. Thanks for being here. Thanks for telling your friends. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.